Hi guys, we're continuing with Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Jeff Kinney. So where we left off, this is the second part, excuse me, we did 3 sections, but the first one got deleted, so this is supposed to be the third part, but it's the second, unfortunately. So, okay, so where we left off is, here. I thought I could just crank out my thank you cards in a half hour. Those are cards for Christmas, or gifts. But when it came to actually writing them, my mind went blank. Let me tell you, it's not easy writing thank you notes for stuff you didn't want in the first place. I started with the non-clothes items because I thought they'd be easiest, but after 2 or 3 cards I realized I was practically writing the same thing every time. So I wrote up a general form on the computer with blanks for the things that needed to change. Writing the cards from there was a breeze. Dear Aunt Lydia, thank you so much for the awesome encyclopedia. How did you know I wanted that for Christmas? I love the way the encyclopedia looks on my shelf. All my friends will be so jealous that I have my very own encyclopedia. Thank you for making this the best Christmas ever. Sincerely, Grace. My system worked out pretty well for the first couple of gifts, but after that, not so much. So, dear Aunt Loretta, thank you so much for the awesome pants. How did you know I wanted that for Christmas? I love the way pants looks on my legs. All my friends will be so jealous I have my very own pants. Oh, dear. So he borrows like other people's pants. Okay, it's Friday. I finally knocked Raleigh off the big wheel today, but it didn't happen the way I expected. I was trying to hit him in the shoulder, but I missed. The football went under the front tire. So, it's a game they're playing, where he tries to hit Raleigh with the football while he's going downhill on a little bike. Raleigh tried to break his fall by sticking out his arms, but he landed pretty hard on his left hand. I figured he'd just shake it off and get right back on the bike, but he didn't. I tried to cheer him up, but all the jokes that usually crack him up weren't working. So I knew he must be hurt pretty bad. Hey, look at me. I'm your dad. Dur, dur, dur. Sniff, heh, heh. Monday. Christmas vacation is over, and now we're back at school. And you remember Raleigh's big wheel accident? Well, he broke his hand, and now he has to wear a cast. And today everyone was crowding around him like he was a hero. Does it hurt, you poor thing? A little like this. I tried to cash in on some of Raleigh's new popularity, but it totally backfired. I'm the one who broke his hand. Yeah, me. At lunch, a bunch of kids invited Raleigh over to their table so they could feed him. What really ticks me off about that is that Raleigh is right-handed and it's his left hand that's broken, so he can feed himself just fine. Here comes the airplane. Yum, yum. Tuesday, I realized that Riley's injury thing is a pretty good racket, so I decided it was time for me to have an injury of my own. I took some gauze from home, and I wrapped up my hand to make it look like it was hurt. It's a raging infection caused by a splinter that was left untreated. I couldn't figure out why the girls weren't swarming me like they swarmed Raleigh, but I realized what the problem was. See, the cast is a great gimmick because everyone wants to sign their name on it, but it's not exactly easy to sign gauze with a pen. So I came up with a solution that I thought was just as good. Would you like to be the first one to sign my sympathy sheet? That idea was a total bust, too. My bandage did end up attracting attention from a couple of people, but believe me, they were not the type of people I was going for. Can I peek at your infection? Go away. Monday. Last week we started the third quarter at school, so now I have a bunch of new classes. One of the classes I signed up for is something called independent study. I wanted to sign up for home economics too, because I'm pretty good at home ec 1. I was. But being good at sewing does not exactly buy you popularity points at school. Hey, look, Greg has a purse. Actually, it's an embroidered book bag. Okay, Percy. Anyway, this independent study thing is an experiment they're trying out at our school for the first time. The idea is that the class gets assigned a project, and then you have to work on it together with no teacher in the room for the whole quarter. The catch is that when you're done, everyone in your group gets the same grade. I found out that Ricky Fisher is in my class, which could be a big problem. Ricky's big claim to fame is that he'll pick the gum off the bottom of a desk and chew it if you pay him 50 cents. So I don't really have high hopes for our final grade. Tuesday. Today we got our independent study assignment. At first, and guess what it is? We have to build a robot. At first, everybody kind of freaked out because we thought we were going to have to build a robot from scratch. But Mr. Darnell told us we don't have to build an actual robot. We just need to come up with ideas for what our robot might look like and what kinds of things it would be able to do. Then he left the room, and we were on our own. And we started brainstorming right away. I wrote down a bunch of ideas on the blackboard. The robot would do my homework, do the dishes, make my breakfast, brush my teeth. Everybody was pretty impressed with my ideas. But it was easy to come up with them. All I did was write down all the things I hate doing myself. But a couple of the girls got up to the front of the room and they had some ideas of their own. They erased my list and drew up their own plan. They wanted to invent a robot that would give you dating advice and have 10 types of lip gloss on its fingertips. 10 types. A lot of lip gloss. All us guys thought this was the stupidest idea we ever heard. Dating advice? Like what? That guy looks good and that one doesn't. So we ended up splitting into two groups, girls and boys. The boys went to the other side of the room, while the girls stood around talking. Now that we had all the serious workers in one place, we got to work. Someone had the idea that you can say your name to the robot, and it can say it back to you, like a parrot, huh? Hi, Bob. It is very nice to meet you, Bob. Bob, I'm talking to you. Bob, listen to me. Bob, listen to me. But then someone else pointed out that you shouldn't be able to use bad words for your name, because the robot shouldn't be able to curse. So we decided we should come up with a list of all the bad words the robot shouldn't be able to say. We came up with all the regular bad words, but then Ricky Fisher came up with 20 more. The rest of us had never even heard before. So Ricky ended up being one of the most valuable contributors to this project. So right before the bell rang, Mr. Darnell came back in the room to check on our progress. He picked up the piece of paper we were writing on and read it over. So he's reading the paper and probably flabbergasted at the list of bad words or something. To make a long story short, independent study is canceled for the rest of the year. Well, at least it is for us boys. So if the robots in the future are going around with cherry lip gloss for fingers, at least now you know how it all got started. Thursday, in school, today they had a general assembly and showed the movie, It's Great to Be Me, which they show us every year. The movie is all about how you should be happy with who you are, not change anything about yourself. To be honest with you, I think that's a really dumb message to be telling kids, especially the ones at my school. It's great to be me, shove, ha ha ha. Later on, they made an announcement that there's some openings on the safety patrol, and that got me thinking. If someone picks on a safety patrol, it can get them suspended. The way I figured, I can use any extra protection I can get. Plus, I realized that maybe being in a position of authority could be good for me. Can we please cross the street now? Nope. But we've been standing here for an hour. Oh, crap. I went down to Mr. Winsky's office and signed myself up, and I got Raleigh to sign up too. I thought Mr. Winsky would make us do a bunch of chin-ups or jumping jacks or something to prove we were up for the job, but he just handed us our belts and badges on the spot. Mr. Winsky said the openings were for a special assignment. Our school is right next to the elementary school, and they've got a half-day kindergarten there. He wants to walk the morning session kids home in the middle of the day. I realized that meant we would miss 20 minutes of pre-algebra. Rowley must have figured that out too, because he started to speak up. But I gave him a wicked pinch underneath the desk before he could finish his sentence. But we would miss, Yahoo! I couldn't believe my luck. I was getting instant bully protection and a free pass from half of pre-algebra, and I didn't even have to lift a finger. Tuesday. Today was our first day of safety patrol. Me and Raleigh don't technically have stations like all the other patrols, so that means we don't have to stand out in the freezing cold for an hour before school. But that didn't stop us from coming to the cafeteria for the free hot chocolate they hand out to the other patrols before homeroom. Plink. Another great perk is that you get to show up 10 minutes late for the first period. Hello, I have arrived. I'm telling you, I've got it made with this safety patrol sense. At 12:15, me and Rowley left school and walked to kindergartner's home. The whole trip ate up 45 minutes, and there were only 20 minutes of pre-algebra left when we got back. Walking the kids home was no sweat. But one of the kindergartners started to smell a little funny, and I think maybe he had an accident in his pants. He tried to let me know about it, but I just stared straight ahead and kept walking. I'll take these kids home, but believe me, I didn't sign up for any diaper duty. February, Wednesday. Today it snowed for the first time this winter, and school was canceled. We were supposed to have a test in pre-algebra, and I've kind of slacked off ever since I became a safety patrol, so I was psyched. I called Rowley and told him to come over. Me and him have been talking about building the world's biggest snowman for the past couple of years now. And when I say the world's biggest snowman, I'm not kidding. Our goal is to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. But every time we've gotten serious about going for the record, all the snow has melted and we've missed our window of opportunity. So this year I wanted to get started right away. When Raleigh came over, we started rolling the first snowball to make the base. I figured that the base was going to have to be at least 8 feet tall on its own if we wanted to have a shot at breaking the record. But the snowball got real heavy, and we had to take a bunch of breaks in between rolls so we could catch our breath. Grunt, wheeze. During one of our breaks, Mom came outside to go to the grocery store, but our snowball was blocking her car in, so we got a little free labor out of her. After a break, me and Rowley pushed that snowball unit until we couldn't push it any further. But when we looked behind us, we saw the mess we had made. The snowball had gotten so heavy that it tore up all the sod Dad had just laid down this fall. I was hoping it would snow a few more inches and cover up our tracks, but just like that, it stopped snowing. Our plan to build the world's biggest snowman was starting to fall apart. So I came up with a better idea for our snowball. Every time it snows, the kids from Worley Street use our hill for sledding, even though this isn't their neighborhood. So tomorrow morning, when the Worley Street kids come marching up our hill, me and Rowley are going to teach those guys a lesson. Thursday. When I woke up this morning, the snow was already starting to melt. So I told Rowley to hurry up and get down to my house. While I was waiting for Rowley to show up, I watched Manny trying to build a snowman out of the piddly crumbs of snow that were left over from our snowman. It was actually kind of pathetic. Pat, pat. Making a little tiny snowman. I really couldn't help doing what I did next. Unfortunately for me, right at that moment, Dad was at the front window. Yeah, he kicked the snowman. Dad was already mad at me for tearing up the sod, so I knew I was in for it. I heard the garage door open and I saw Dad coming outside. He marched right out carrying a snow shovel, and I thought I was going to have to make a run for it. There goes his snowman base. But Dad was heading for my snowball, not me, and in less than a minute he reduced all our hard work to nothing. Do-do-do-do. Whistling a tune. Riley came by a few minutes later. I thought he might actually get a kick of what had happened, but I guess he had his heart set on rolling that snowball down the hill, and he was really mad. Get this, Rolly was mad at me for what Dad did. Told Riley he was being a big baby, and we got in a shoving match. Right when it looked like we were going to get in an all-out fight, we got ambushed from the street. Bad. It was a hit and run by the Worley Street kids.